this week one. First of all, just, for my first experience at Five Star Stadium and one of the best FCS environments out there, couldn't be more excited about what our fans brought to it, even with the weather delay. 4 concert series, and just the energy in the stadium was tremendous. We talked to the players a little bit about being delayed but not denied. I'm really pleased with how we came out and played. Anytime you get the tough thing with the lightning delays is it resets every time there's a strike within 10 miles, and so it was hard to get a bead on, lay out a schedule and when we were actually going to get the thing kicked off. But once we got it rolling, really impressed with how they play, really impressed with their maturity and their execution. Certainly some things to clean up, but I felt like it was a 3-phase victory where we did some really good things on all facets of the game. So I'm appreciative for their effort. We've had a good start to this week, and I'm ready to open it up for any questions.
Coach, on offense, looking at stats and so on, you're the top passer, you also have top 5 rusher and receiver. Offense seems to kind of be the big thing you guys were looking to kind of have be stronger this year. Not necessarily that we knew the defense was a sure thing, but just having that going for this year, what did that mean in week 1?
I think that was one of the bigger question marks, right? Just a number of new faces, certainly a new offensive system. So to come out and see the things that we've been working on since really when we got here, with a number of those new pieces in place, as well as some consistent ones, some guys in expanded roles from maybe what they were in last year, was really good to get us starting. We try not to get too tied up in stats, right? Some of those are a little swayed by who their opponents were, but we're certainly proud of our players and how they executed on Thursday night.
What have you seen on film from them? Things they do well, things they didn't do well that you think you probably can take advantage of?
Sure. They played a really talented South Florida team. And so, I thought they played a number of quarterbacks. I think they played 3 quarterbacks in total in that game. At times, really the second kid that came in threw the ball around pretty well. I think their box players on defense are really good. I think the defensive line and the linebacking core in particular can run around pretty well. And so we'll have a challenge this weekend.
Coach, talk to me about just what you saw from Braden on the field and how amazing this honor is to have going into week 2.
Sure. It's always tremendous for our players to be recognized not only in a tough conference like the SoCon, but certainly nationally. And I think, the things that we see flash in practice, the country kind of got to see. And that's that we have a guy that can really run, and he can break a play and, kind of create one of those impact moments at any point. And to see him do it not just in the special teams game with a tremendous punt return, but also in the receiving room, just speaks to what we hope he can bring the rest of the season.
Coach, talk about how important it was for DJ to come out there with such an impressive start. I mean, one of the best in program history.
Again, just with a number of new faces and in a quarterback competition that we had this spring and this offseason, to see him execute at a high level. I mean, we put a fair amount on our quarterbacks. There's a fair amount that goes into the game plan and that we put on those guys, but to see him get us in the right situations, get us lined up to execute. Really, other than the one pick where he kind of short-armed it, I thought he did a really good job protecting the football. So those are the things that will give you an opportunity to succeed each week. But the consistency, the completion percentage, that kind of stuff, the ability to make plays off schedule, the one there at the beginning of I think it was the third quarter where he kind of spun out of what probably should have been a sure sack and kind of flung the ball to Ty Cord, just shows you what he can do when we're off schedule. And that's an element that, as an opposing coach, you really quite can't plan for. So,
what did you think about Hess coming in, Coach, and relief there at the end? He looked pretty impressive.
Yeah, happy for Hess. Again, a guy coming off an ACL injury, and he's a guy that had transferred in here prior to me getting here, and just to see a kid come back, and I think he's got great command of the offense, but led us right down the field, led us to a score. Again, similar comments to with DJ. He put us in the right position. He made the right reads. He got the ball out relatively quickly. So those are all things that lead toward him having some success on the field when he had an opportunity.
Coach, what do you hope that this team learned from last week and will take into this upcoming game against the team?
That complacency kills, right? Like, we certainly haven't arrived. There's a bunch of stuff that we need to work on. We we beat a good football team, but we need to be prepared, right? The degree of difficulty raises each week, not only in our conference, but in our out-of-conference games, and we have to work like we haven't played a game yet. And I think that those guys understanding that when we do things the right way, when we execute at a high level, you see tremendous results. And so we just need to, hit repeat each day with that stuff.
Coach, from the time you arrived, you made it clear your emphasis on the line of scrimmage, winning down in the trenches. How do you feel you did first game last week?
Yeah, I thought we did overall pretty good, right? I mean, anytime you roll up 500 yards of offense, I'd certainly like it to be more consistent. I thought we had a few too many pressures on the quarterback, but other than that, I was happy with the way we ran the ball. I told you we were going to see 4 running backs, and I think all those guys did a tremendous job. It was, I think you see some of the things that have made Dwayne McGee special at the Division II level, and to see him do it against FCS competition was nice. And then, again, guys who have been in the program, Ty Cord, C.J. Miller, and Micah Bell that have put in their time are really also tremendous weapons for us.
What else, Coach Jacob? Good.
All set? Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Okay, well, I would say just go to the offensive side of the ball, but this guy's a special teams player as well. Again, the National Special Teams Player of the Week. 227 all-purpose yards. Went to high school here at Tatnall Square. So we'll bring up Braden Smith. Braden, if you would give an overview how you felt the game went and how you played, then they'll have some questions for you.
Hello. I thought that our team played great all around last game versus Presbyterian, but I feel like we definitely could improve and bring some things together to help us beat Bethune-Cookman too.
And I think the obvious question here is, what does it feel like winning that honor for week 1, and what does that teach you going into week 2?
Well, it felt great winning the National Special Teams Player of the Year, but it did feel better to beat Presbyterian and go out there and show that this team is just because we got a lot of new faces and we may have lost some players last year, we're still competing for the SoCon championship and, trying to make a run at the National.
Great, you're from Mickey, as Ruth mentioned, having that kind of game in front of your home crowd, your friends, family, whoever may have been in the crowd, what was that kind of for you?
It was amazing. My whole family was in the crowd, like you're saying, because, I'm Macon native. They were able to all make it to the game. Even my grandparents that can't go to some away games due to their health, or she was actually able to be there, specifically my grandma, and it was great.
Bethune-Cookman coming up, Braden, I know it's still early in the week, but what challenges do you see that their defense might present against offense?
We're still early on to, we haven't had but one practice preparing for them, but I think they're definitely going to be better than last week. But I still don't think that our offense will have any problem moving the ball up and down the field with all our different threats and, receivers and running backs that can, do what we do. And so I think we'll be all right.
And the challenge of playing on the road for the first time outside, are you team to that?
We're all excited, go down to Daytona and play. The heat won't be a problem because, we're here in Middle Georgia, so I don't think that will cause any problems. And, we're excited as a team.
Braden, what was more fun for you on Thursday, the passing touchdown or the special teams touchdown?
I would say that the special teams touchdown was more exciting because earlier on in the game, we ran that same play on offense, but it was RPO, and he handed the ball off, and I'd let him know that I was open. So when we called it again, I was kind of expecting it. But the previous 7 punts that the punter had, well, one of them I fielded, but the other ones, they weren't really returnable. So then the one that I was actually able to return, it was kind of unexpected. So I would say the punt return.
Was Chris there to high five you there at the end?
Oh, yeah. Right there at the 2-yard line.
Yeah. Anything else for Braden? Feels pretty good going across that goal line, regardless of how you got there, right?
Sir.
All right, thanks, Braden. Appreciate it.
Sir.
I think Braden's got a class to get to, so we'll let him dash somewhere else other than across the football field. All right, we're going to the other side of the ball. Chris Joins is a junior safety. He's out of Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Had one of the touchdowns and one of the most bizarre touchdowns you might ever see in a game, but we'll let him tell us about it. Also, 2 years ago as a freshman, he intercepted a pass at Auburn that set up our first score there. So let's bring up Chris Joins.
Hey, how y'all doing? As far as an overview of the game, I would say defense, we played pretty consistent besides a couple big explosive plays. But like I said, I'm really thankful for the front seven. Like I said, we didn't see too many explosive plays on the back end, so really just trying to carry that over.
Just talk through the snap over the punter's head, what you saw. I mean, it looked like it kicked around a little bit and you found a way to jump on it in the end zone.
Yeah, it was a scheduled return, and then I saw the ball went over the punter's head on a bad snap. So I think Carmelo O'Neal, I want to say he pressured the punter and kicking that ball up, and once I saw it near the goal line, I tried to scoop and reach it in, and then look, I got in.
When's the last time you scored a touchdown?
Probably in my senior year of high school when I was playing offense on receiver. It's been a while.
Just normally for a defense to function well together, they need to play well together on the field and off the field. As the defense, are you guys, are y'all pretty tight on and off the field?
Yes, I would never say we're tight off the field. Like I said, we have a lot of returning starters, so really led by the older guys. I would say like Kenneth Stanley, Isaac Dowling, Chris Hills, TJ Moore. So really just the old guys really showing us the way. And then, like I said, with us being together for so long, like I said, that's definitely brought us together, and just how many things we've seen both here and on the road. So a lot of experience, both with young guys and older guys. But like I said, I feel like the older guys definitely bring us together.
Great all-around win, obviously. So what's the mindset in the locker room going into that thing tonight?
Really just carry it over. Like I said, definitely, of course, first thing we emphasize is always stop the run. But like I said, really just limit the explosive plays, because like I said, we know how consistent we can be as a defense, and then like I said, we have full faith in like the front seven stopping the run. So really from the back end mindset, really just no explosive plays, just keeping everything in check, but also just sticking to the game plan, just knowing personnel, things of that nature.
Okay, anything else for Chris? All right, thank you, appreciate it. Okay, we've got other sports that have begun play as well and doing very well. We've got a couple of those coaches with us today. Let's go to Chad Sutton first. He's our volleyball coach in his second year, and the ladies have done very well, 3-0. Got a big game coming up tomorrow against Maryland Eastern Shore. Coach Sutton, come up and tell us how things have been going for your team.
Thanks for having me, guys. So far for our team, the scrimmage really kind of showed us some areas that we needed to work on the week before. So I would say our last week, we had a really good practice that helped us move the needle, and we went into Jacksonville and came out 3-0. As far as how we played, I don't know if we played a perfect match yet. I don't know if we've had a full match complete by every unit, but I do know that multiple units at various times played at a winning level and allowed us to win matches. Specifically, our serving unit, we out-aced and out-served every team we played, and I think that just gave us a real opportunity to win matches when it came down to it. But we played some experienced teams, some older teams that finished high in their conference, and we did so with a lot of youth on the floor. At some points, we had 5 freshmen playing. So very proud and excited to see what we had out of our freshmen, and super excited for what they're going to be able to do throughout their career.
Chad, talk about the differences you saw from your scrimmage against Georgia State to what you saw down at Jacksonville.
Absolutely. We were not able to connect on first, second, third contacts at our scrimmage, and we were playing a little slower than what we've been practicing, and so that didn't allow us to be as efficient offensively as we need to be, and we just, I don't know, maybe the light bulb went off, everything clicked that next week. We had about 4 practices in a row that really was helpful for us to develop and kind of narrow down the tempo that we need to play at, and we were able to carry that on for the most part into the weekend and really shock some people with our style of play.
Coach, one of your players, Allie Walden, she's going over some stuff off the floor with her cancer diagnosis and things like that. Talk about how that
Sure. I mean, everything you just said, it goes into it. I mean, first it was a shock, to the team, and obviously our heart is, reeling for Allie and what she's going through. She was a starter for us last year, so that was not just a shock to what she's going through, but it was a shock to how we were planning on playing this year. And we had to gather ourselves and come together and figure out a way that we're going to win matches, and not having someone that we were originally counting on having. As far as the team's been obviously very supportive. Allie was in Jacksonville to come support the team, so she's there when she can be, and everybody's just rallying behind her, whether it's her GoFundMe or whether it's just keeping her involved and just being supportive as she's going through this journey. Her journey is about to get harder, and I'm sure it's going to require a lot more support and rallying around her.
Let's talk about what you had come back at, what you had coming back for this year, provided what you added with the new girls coming in and what they've added to the team.
Sure. I mean, Skylar Bumpers was first team all-conference, so she's kind of a senior rock for us in the middle. Gia Padilla is getting better and better and better. A lot of people don't know she had a previous injury in her career, and last year was a little reserved in her style of play. She's further along from that injury and is feeling very comfortable. She looks great out there playing. She's a senior outside for us. Abby Havrilla is a rock as a junior in the backcourt with passing, digging, and serving. And we brought in 9 new faces, 2 transfers. Brooke Phillips is a 6-year player. She's a setter from IUPUI. She had an excellent weekend, 14 aces, 24 digs, and however many 100 assists. She's just really providing a lot of leadership from the setting position. Sky Eeks is a big-time hitter that transferred from Florida State. Anytime you look at transfers, you got to be comfortable with where they come from. And I know the Florida State gym really well, and I really know her high school and club gym really well. So her development has been great throughout her career, and just getting her in the gym and helping be more of an impact player from the pen is gonna be huge. But the 7 freshmen, they all had to step up at different times. Lou Johnson walked right in. She's doing an awesome job in the middle as a freshman, which is a really hard position for a freshman to impact the play, as it requires a lot of processing and adapting to the speed of this game. She's got an excellent high school coach that I know very well that has her prepared. But everybody's doing. Mimi Davis, Defensive Player of the Week for the SoCon as a freshman. She is an absolute stud and has a very, very bright future for us as well.
Anything else, Coach Sutton? Thank you, Coach. Appreciate
Thank you.
it. All right, we'll bring finally Coach Tony Kononopoulos. Coach E, as I like to call him. As you can see, not everyone can pronounce Coach's last name. 13 years, I believe, Coach, you've been here, and off to a great start as well. 4-1-1, including an exhibition, or not including the exhibition over Auburn, 3-0.
Thanks, Rick. Yeah, it's been a fun year so far, fun start to our season. We started our first exhibition hosting Auburn here in the SEC and dominated them, winning a 3-0 match. And then we reeled off 4 wins early on in the season. The last 2 we drew against Georgia Southern, a team in the Sun Belt. That was 55 RPI last year. We came from behind, being down 2-0, so I was really proud of the grit the girls showed, being down 2-0 at halftime, not playing particularly well, and then turning on for 45 minutes and actually having opportunities to win the match if there was a few more minutes possibly in that match. Then we lost to North Florida, unfortunately, this past Sunday. They're an anomaly, I would say, North Florida. They're a team that beat Miami at the ACC the first weekend of the season. They only conceded 1 game against Florida State, the national champions from last year. Game we had opportunities to win, and the hardest part for us in soccer versus other sports is it's a game you can statistically dominate, but if you don't score in the back of the net, you can end up losing game 1-0, 2-1, or something like that. So very happy with the team's at, a third of the way through the season. We still have 12 more games to go, so I'm excited where our trajectory is. We have a very dynamic offensive type of team, scoring a lot of goals. At times it does expose us to get countered, but we want to be more aggressive this year. So I'm happy where we're at with the attacking punch we do have right now.
Coach, also talk about some of the defensive roles the team has won recently too. What does that mean as well as have all 3 phases of goalkeeping, defensive, or attacking with what you call cylinders?
Obviously, defending is the key. If you defend well and keep shutouts and clean sheets, you're not going to lose matches. You'll tie them or draw them, which is great. So our team knows that we play with 1 less back than some teams might play. We have confidence and trust in our 3 backs and our senior goalkeeper, Lindsey Bell. So it's great that she got the accolades of Defensive Player of the Week last week. We're very happy for her. But our whole team defends from the forward line back. How we defend in our shape starts with our 2 forwards. So we take really a lot of pride in how we start our defensive shape, how hard we're going to work defensively, and try to stifle teams' offensive output. So I'm really happy that we're disciplined. And that's what defense is. If you're disciplined, organized, it keeps you in matches.
What's the difference between this year's game and last year's game? What are you seeing on the field?
The biggest thing I think is mindset. I think last year I think we had the talent. We were just off a little bit for whatever reason from a leadership standpoint on the field, maybe that true leader. You know, in soccer, we don't have timeouts. We don't get injury things. The girls got to figure it out in the field until we get to halftime and make adjustments. So for us, we had some girls step up this year in the leadership role to really push themselves as their 4th year or 5th year to get to that elusive championship of Williams SoCon. So that's our biggest mindset. Plus, we're a year older. We have Larkin Thomason last year who had 11 goals. She already has 6 this year as a sophomore. Jada Thomason had 11 last year. She already has 3 this year. So they're a year older, more mature and stronger. But I think the vibe of the team, the feel of the team is really in a strong spot right now. And if they keep believing in themselves and the process that we put in place, the scouts, the video, I think they'll be very successful moving forward, hopefully.
Anything else, Coach E? All right, let's see, Tony, you're at home Sunday at 2 against Illinois, correct?
Yes, sir, Big Ten, yep.
Coach Sutton, you're at home tomorrow at 4, Maryland Eastern Shore. And of course, the football team takes the first road game at Bethune-Cookman, 3 o'clock Saturday afternoon at Daytona Stadium. Thanks to each one of you for coming. Hope to see you again next week.